Hi everyone, I'm Shelly and you're watching There's No Place Like Home. Today I just wanted to explore the question, how did we get here? When I ask how did we get here, I'm not bringing about some existential question. I am asking how did we get here? As in, how did we get to this point in society? This is actually something that came to mind when I was having a discussion on the phone with a friend yesterday. She asked me the same question. She said, Shelly, how did we get here? And I'm going to tell you the same thing that I told her. We are at a point in time where it seems that a lot of people have lost the ability to reason. They can't think for themselves, and they absolutely refuse to question authority, even when it seems that they're being openly nefarious. And of course, we have the usual suspects. We have school and the media and the entertainment industry and advertising and the technocracy, but I want to get into it a little bit more deeply than that. Let's start out with school because, yes, I believe that school is the foundation of what we are seeing around us right now. Let's not forget that the school system was based on the Prussian model. The Prussian model was formed because the Prussians wanted to create obedient soldiers. And in fact, the American education system was put in place to create obedient factory workers. So what has happened is that we took what was once a very independent and very self-sustaining populace, and over generations of schooling, they have gotten to the point where they have been conditioned, they have been trained to no longer think for themselves. And the sad part about it is that we have the president already talking about universal preschool. He's talking about universal school, government school for children as young as 3 years old. And this is something that I actually called. I called this in several videos. I kept talking about how this was going to happen over time. And yeah, we see it happening. But here's what really hit me when I was talking to my friend yesterday. As we were discussing this and as I was thinking about it, because she said to me, why are we so different? Why is it that we can see things and other people just can't? And what came to mind was back when I was in college, I took a computer literacy class and I learned about RAM memory and I learned about ROM memory. RAM, if you're not familiar with it, means random access memory. It's computer memory that can not only read things, but that it can write, you can write with it and it can be changed. ROM, on the other hand, is read-only memory. The only thing that you can do with ROM memory is read, and that's it. It cannot be changed. It cannot formulate anything. And what I'm seeing is that our schooling system has created an overabundance of ROM people with ROM thinking, people who can only read-only people who can only take in information that is given to them, and maybe they can regurgitate that, but they cannot change. They cannot formulate their own opinions. They cannot come up with coherent thoughts on their own. And unfortunately, yes, what I'm seeing is that there is an abundance of the ROM population. Those of us who can see things more clearly and who have kind of at least broken free. Some people were never ROM to begin with, but other people used to be ROM, but somehow were able to make the transition to RAM. But I think that those of us who are RAM, we are those people who can take things in, but that we can also analyze what we take in, and we can formulate our own opinions about it. We can create something that I think that a lot of people cannot do. And unfortunately, what's happening is, and I think, well, I know this was one of the intentions of the school system to start. They wanted people who were unthinking. They wanted people who would just accept what they were told and who would do as they were told and would not give any trouble. And unfortunately, even though there are a lot of what we call trouble, like with things going on in the world, a lot of times those troubles that we see are things that are really developed by the government themselves. So what happens is we are losing the RAM people. And as we have people going to college, the college, is just as guilty as public education system, as K through 12th grade. College is just as guilty. They are doing the exact same thing. So what's happening is we have all of these teachers going through this system, and if they were not ROM to begin with, a lot of them are ROM to end with. And then we have people with a ROM mentality then also teaching your children. You have teachers who a lot of times, not all of them, but who a lot of times also have lost the ability to think for themselves, and they are only regurgitating what they were fed, and they're pouring it into your children as if your children are empty vessels, and really that's how they see your children. So I think what really has to happen is that we have to, as a society, keep our children from that ROM mentality. And we need to just make sure that we have more RAM people out there. And I hope that this makes sense because to me, it really did. But anyway, we also see that the same mentality is going on with the media. The same thing that your kids are hearing in school, the media is just reinforcing that. And a lot of times they're doing that through neurolinguistic programming. They are repeating the same phrases over and over again. You're seeing the same sentences over and over again. You're seeing the same theme in every advertisement, every TV show, over and over again. And this is all part of creating that ROM style thinking. And I mentioned that it was in TV shows in the entertainment industry. It's just an extension of the media. They're doing the same thing. And then we have the technocracy. For years, I was so enamored with science, and I thought that, and I still am, but I've really lost faith in a lot of the science community just because they refuse to question what they've been told. And science is all about questioning. And so that's how I think that we got to where we're at right now. We have been sabotaged, so to speak. It has been set up from the time of, now I'm saying from the time of compulsory schooling, but I'm sure, I know that it started before that, but I'm going to use the inception of compulsory schooling, especially government schooling, as the starting point, because it is almost seamless the way that all of these industries collude. The way that the school system does, the way that the media does, the way that the entertainment industry does, advertising, everything colludes. And now you have, again, people like Biden. He wants children to go to school even earlier now. And again, I said this was going to happen. And I talked in other videos about how Kamala Harris was talking about how she wanted 10-hour school days. And that's another video. And I'll link these videos in the description box. But it's time that we stand up for this. When I'm thinking of what happens in school, I keep thinking of the Pink Floyd video, Another Brick in the Wall. And I don't know if you've ever seen this video, but it shows students marching in a line, and then they go through something, and when they come back out, they all have the same face. Their face is formless. But they are all one and the same. And that is what I see happening in the school system. And by the time that people leave the school system, they are ripe for the indoctrination that is going to come through the media and the entertainment industry, that people really seem to be so obsessed with it. So the thing is that the more institutionalized, the more engineered society becomes, the more RAM people we are losing. So if you look at Brave New World, I just released a video about that today. In Brave New World, it is an engineered society. And if you look at Brave New World, the people there are all ROM, with exception to one or two people, and those people who are called savages, who are not able to live in society. And really, that is exactly what I see happening now. And so I think that when it comes to teachers, although there are some teachers who are they know the agenda and they are all for the agenda. And then we have other teachers who are completely against the agenda and are doing everything that they can to fight tooth and nail against it. I think we have even more teachers who really have no idea what agenda is happening because they are so ingrained with this ROM thinking. So in essence, I think that those of us who are able to see things as they are and to analyze things and to not just blindly accept everything that we're told. It is a gift from God. And I think that if we continue to speak out, if we continue to try to wake people up, I'm praying that there will be even more of us. And yeah, there are more of us every day. That's all that I have for you today. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet and would like to hear more of what I have to say, I would love if you would do that. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave one here or over on Instagram. And if you like my work and would like to check out my Patreon page, I will leave a link in the description box for that as well. And I hope you have a great day.